pancakes. Two babies were born in the hospital the same day, two little babies. They put them in the same room, they're just laying there looking at each other. Each family came in, took their baby away. Babies lived their entire lives. 85 years later, by a bizarre coincidence, they end up in the same hospital, in the same room, laying on their deathbeds, just laying there looking at each other. One of them said to the other one, "So, what did you think?" I remember the first time I ever went to sleep. My mother said, "Stephen, go to sleep." I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Go all the way down to the end of Tired and take a right." So I went all the way down to the end of Tired, and just out of curiosity, I took a left, and my mother was there, and she said, "I thought I told you to go to sleep." I knew I wasn't going to be the first child born, even before I was born. There was graffiti in the womb. Bob was here. I have two brothers and one sister. My sister has three brothers and no sisters. When she was little, I would tease her. I'd say, "You're not really in this family. You don't have any sisters." If you shoot a mime, should you use a silencer? I have a fax machine. I have fax waiting. For a while, I was in the Centrifugal Air Force. Came home dizzy every night. When I was little, my mother was always feeding me pancakes with maple syrup. But somewhere along the line, she switched to truth serum. I'd be eating the pancakes saying, "I'm the one who broke the window." But I caught on to this because I realized every time I ate pancakes a few hours later, I got the shit beat out of me. And one day she said, "You want some pancakes?" I said, "No, I don't like pancakes." She said, "How about some waffles?" I said, "Yeah, I'll have some waffles." A few hours later, I got the shit beat out of me. If you didn't know me, would you think I was a stranger? You never know what you have till it's gone, and I wanted to know what I had, so I got rid of everything. My school colors were clear. I'm not naked, I'm in the band. I'm staying in an old hotel. They sent me a wake-up letter. Near the elevator, there's an existentialist map. It says, "You are here," all over it. One time I stayed in a hotel, the pool was on the 23rd floor. I couldn't believe how deep it was. I was walking home one day, I accidentally fell asleep in somebody's satellite dish. My dreams were showing up on TVs all over the world. I have several theories of things and stuff. My theory of evolution, I think Darwin was adopted. One time I went fishing with Salvador Dali. He was using a dotted line. He caught every other fish. I'm working on a campaign to take all the salt out of all the oceans because I think the fish are getting high blood pressure. I don't like the sound of my phone ringing, so I put my phone inside my fish tank. I can't hear it anymore, but I can tell when I get a call, though, because the fish go back and forth like this. I go down to the pet store. Give me another 10 guppies. A lot of calls yesterday. Taking Lamar's classes. No one's having a baby, I'm just having trouble breathing. Every day I like to put a little bit of time aside and just forget about it. So at the end of the year I have a few days to myself. There was a spider on my refrigerator. I couldn't kill him. I just couldn't kill him. So I handcuffed him. Later on, he talked me into letting him go. Then I killed him. Babies don't need a vacation, but I still see him at the beach. It pisses me off. When no one's looking, I'll go over to a little baby's laying. I'll say, "What are you doing here? You haven't worked a day in your life." Little baby laying on a little dish towel. Trying to get a little tan. To impress his little friends. See my diaper line? Came home late one night, had the remote control thing for the TV rather than the garage door opener. It was out in front of my house like this. The house kept changing. I got it back to the original house. I just left the car outside. Then I went in, I was watching TV with the garage door opener. I pushed the button and the screen went up. There were little rakes and little lawnmowers inside. My favorite chair is a wicker chair. It's my favorite chair because I stole it. I was at a party, a very crowded party. When no one was looking, I went over to it and I unraveled it. I stuck it through the keyhole in the door. The girl was in it, was almost killed. My girlfriend hates it when we take a bath together and I practice skipping rocks. Now she sits down the same end as me, it's not as fun. I was in bed with her the other night, laying there reading my second-hand diary that I bought. You know the pajamas with the feet? I just had the feet. You know when you put a stick in the water and it looks like it's bent, but it really isn't? That's why I don't take baths. So I'm laying there and she says to me, "Let me ask you this." And I said, "What?" And she said, "If you could know how and when you were going to die, would you want to know?" And I said, "No." She said, "Forget it then." So I get out of the bed, I figured I'd go for a walk. She said, "How long are you gonna be gone?" I said, "The whole time." And I'm walking down the street and I see a staple to a telephone pole, a poster. It says, "Reward, lost $50. If found, just keep it." And I'm walking around, I'm thinking about everything. Not everything, like one thing at a time. Thinking about how I just got call waiting on my phone, so now I'm gonna have to get another answering machine. I can levitate birds, but nobody cares. It's a good thing there's gravity, otherwise when birds died, they just stay right up there. Hunters would be all confused. Imagine if birds were tickled by feathers. See a bird fly by laughing hysterically. I have an air conditioner in the window of my house. Last summer I turned it around the other way. I turned it off full blast and it got cold out. Watched the weather that night. They said it was supposed to be warm. I don't understand. And I was like this. Whenever I fill out an application, it says, "In case of emergency, notify." I put doctor. What the hell is my mother gonna do? Okay, I'm here now. Open them up. I'm gonna get a tattoo over my whole body of me but taller. I remember the day the candle shop burned down. Everybody just stood around and sang happy birthday. I bought this thing for my car. You put it on your car. It sends out this little noise so when you drive through the woods, deer won't run in front of your car. I installed it backwards by accident. Driving down the street with a herd of deer chasing me. Those were the days. I was driving down the street past a gas station. There were two signs in the window: help wanted, self-service. So I went in and hired myself. I made myself the boss. I took all the money and I left. I was driving down the street 100 miles an hour for no reason. The police stopped me for speeding. They said, "Why are you going so fast?" I said, "Why? I had my foot to the floor." It sends more gas through the carburetor. Makes the engine go faster. The whole car just takes off like that. And I said, "See this right here? See this? This steers it." One time I went through a stop sign, they stopped me. They said, "Why do you go through the sign?" I said, "Hey, I don't believe everything I read." Been doing a little work around my house. I put hardwood floors over wall-to-wall carpeting. I put fake brick wallpaper over a real brick wall. Just so I'd be the only one who knew. People come over, they say, "Go ahead, touch it, it feels real." On the wall walls of my house have paintings of the rooms above them. So I never have to go upstairs. Doesn't matter what temperature a room is, it's always room temperature. My father always used to tell me that, room temperature. On the other hand, you have different fingers. When the trees blow back and forth, that's what causes the wind. Sponges grow in the ocean. That kills me. I wonder how much deeper the ocean would be if that didn't happen. Woke up this morning, I was folding my bed back into a couch. I almost broke both my arms because it's not one of those kind of beds. It's hard for me to buy clothes because I'm not my size. I take extra medium. It's just like medium, but just a little bit extra. I like to aggravate the salesman when I go into the store. Can I help you, sir? Yeah. Do you have anything I would like? He says, how do I know what you would like? I said, you started this. Then I go over to where they make keys. See this? This is a copy. I want you to make me the original. Walked up to a tourist information booth. I walked up and I said, yes, so tell me about some people who were here last year. Bought some land. It was kind of cheap. It was on somebody else's property. Bought an ant farm. I don't know where I'm going to get tractors that small. I bought a cordless extension cord. It's like you don't even know. Yesterday I bought a decaffeinated coffee table. You can't even tell by looking at it. I was driving my car around, decided to hook my brake lights up to my gas pedal. Just to confuse the people behind me. I hit the gas and the brake lights go on. They stop and I'm gone. They say, what is he driving? A friend of mine has a car phone. He has an answering machine on his car phone. The message is, hi, I'm home right now. So I can't come to the phone. But if you leave your name and number, I'll call you when I'm out. What a nice night for an evening, huh? First thing I said to my girlfriend in 7th grade, what a nice night for an evening. She looked at me like I was crazy. We were on the same bus together for 7 years. I asked her if she lived in the area. Went over to pick her up at her house. Her father said, I want her home by 8:15. I said, middle of August? That's cool. You think when they asked George Washington for his ID, he just took out a quarter? Whenever I see a Dalmatian, I say, "What number are you?" I took a lie detector test. No, I didn't. Living on a one-way dead-end street. I don't know how I ever got there. I've been getting into astronomy, so I installed a skylight. People live above me are furious. I've been making wine at home, but I make it out of raisins, so it'll be aged automatically. A friend of mine's in jail for counterfeit pennies. It's minimum security. He's on a wiffle ball and chain. You know, they caught him. He had the head and the tail on the wrong side. He thought that it didn't matter. Another friend of mine does voodoo acupuncture. You don't have to go. You just be walking down the street and all of a sudden, oh, that's much better. Hermits have no peer pressure. That's a good thing to say to the police next time they stop you. License and registration, please. Hermits have no peer pressure. License and registration, please. Whenever I think about the past, it just brings back so many memories. License and registration, please. There's a fine line between fishing and just standing on the shore like an idiot. Wouldn't you say, officer? License and registration, please. What's another word for thesaurus? See the cop have a nervous breakdown. I was just trying to give him a ticket. Kind of tired. I was up all night trying to round off infinity. Then I got bored and went out and painted passing lines on curved roads. Went to the Metropolitan Museum in New York, went there to name the untitled paintings. Woman on horse. Boy with bucket. Kitten on fire. The only reason I exist is so my shadow will have something to do. Tried to draw my shadow once, but I couldn't because my arm kept moving. Got a new shadow. I had to get rid of the other one. It wasn't doing what I was doing. One time I was walking through the woods and I saw a rabbit standing in front of a candle making shadows of people on a tree. I said, don't be so sarcastic. I have all erasers to all the miniature golf pencils in the world. Driving down the street past this sign, it said next rest area 25 miles. I said, wow, that's pretty big. People must get really tired around here. This is where they get tinsel from this thing right here. They scrape this thing down like this. This used to be out like this. A long time ago, many Christmases ago, when puppies were the oldest animals. Tinsel is really snake mirrors. I always carry a little bit of tinsel with me, walk through the woods in case I come upon a snake. Even snakes are afraid of snakes. Snakes have no arms, that's why they don't wear vests. My father used to tell me that when he put me to bed at night. Snakes have no arms, that's why they don't wear vests. Good night. 5 years old watching TV. Only you can prevent forest fires. Oh no. Every night out the window with a bucket of water. Stephen, why are you so tired all the time? I'm preventing forest fires. 1966, I'm in Little League, I'm on first. I steal third. I went straight across. Earlier that week, I learned that the shortest distance between 2 points was a direct line. I took advantage of that knowledge. Told the umpire second base was out of my way. That was the same year I was 9 years old. I walked into the toy store. Yeah, do you have any toy train schedules? No, you're a strange boy, aren't you? I didn't have a toy train, I had a toy subway. You look at the floor, you didn't see anything, just every once in a while you hear this rumbling go by. 6 years old, I'm on a merry-go-round, there's a gunshot nearby, the horse is stampeded. Running down the street on a purple wooden horse. Those were the days. I don't have a child now, but when I do have a child, I'm going to buy one of those strollers for twins. I'm going to put him in one side of it, then I'm going to walk around like this. Officer, he looked just like this one. I'm going to tell him he was a twin, too. You had a twin brother, but he didn't listen to me. Now get back on the roof. Fix that antenna. Don't worry, you won't fall. You're a Pegasus. Last Christmas, I bought my brother some gift wrapping paper as a gift. I went over to the gift wrapping section with it. I said, see this? Wrap this. But don't use the same print so when he opens it, he knows when to stop. I was walking through the cosmetic section of the store. I picked up this little tiny bottle of perfume. I said to the lady, "Is this a free sample?" She said, "It's free with any purchase." I said, "Did anyone buy anything today?" Then I saw this old lady wearing a full-length fur coat. I walked over to her. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, what kind of animal is that coat made out of?" She said, "Raccoon." I said, "My God, he must have been huge." She was wearing pierced hearing aids. Unscented perfume. Came in a little empty bottle. I like Christmas, I like candy canes, I like to eat the red. Just the red, I lick all the red off. There's always these little white hooks all over the floor, all over the place. I put high beams on my Christmas tree lights. I'm blind the guy across the street. He's trying to watch TV and I'm over there. He has a circular driveway, he can't get out. I was arrested for resisting arrest. You're under arrest. No, I'm not. You're under arrest. I can't wait to be arrested and go all the way to the witness stand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth so help you God? Yes, you're ugly. See that woman in the jury? I'd really like to sleep with her. Should I keep going? You can ask me questions. Whenever I pick up someone hitchhiking, I always like to wait a few minutes before I say anything to them. Then I say, "So, how far do you think you were going?" Put your seatbelt on, I want to try something. I saw it in a cartoon, but I'm pretty sure I can do it. The Roadrunner cartoon, he's been chasing him for 25 years. I'd like to see him finally get right up to him and go, "Sorry, I thought you were someone else." Driving hasn't been the same since I installed the Funhouse rearview mirrors. What the hell is that? Driving down the street 150 miles an hour with a friend of mine. Cruise control on. Both of us in the back seat. The police pull us over. They don't know who to arrest. Nobody's driving. So they arrest us both, and I'm on the witness stand. You know the rest. Went to the stereo store, bought a blank tape. Came home, put it on my stereo, turned it up full blast. Was walking around my house. A few minutes later, there was a knock at the door. It was a neighbor complaining. He's a mime. So I used the silencer. I'm a peripheral visionary. I can see into the future, but just way off to the side. I was having a seance trying to reach my grandfather for 5 hours. I was trying to reach him. Then I remembered he wasn't dead. So I called him on the phone. He said, the phone's been ringing all day. I don't understand. He has a summer home and a winter home on the same street. He doesn't like to travel. He was on the first submarine ever. Rather than a periscope, they had a kaleidoscope. My God, we're surrounded. Whenever my mother was going to have another baby, she would send me out of the way, make me spend time with my grandfather. He was completely out of his mind. He was totally insane. Every day he made us stand in a little room together, side by side, looking straight ahead for 3 minutes without talking to each other. He told me it was elevator practice. Now sometimes I'll be on an elevator with someone and I'll say, did your grandfather make you do this too? And they'll say, what the hell are you talking about? He was a small claims court jester. He's 92 years old. We were watching the Super Bowl together. The team scored a touchdown. They showed the replay. He thought they got another one. I was going to tell him, but then I figured the game he was watching was better. I mixed this myself. 2 glasses of H, 1 glass of O. I don't trust anybody. Want some water? I don't know. Got food poisoning today. I don't know when I'm gonna use it. He owed my friend George $25 for 3 weeks. I owed it to him the whole time I had the money on me. He didn't know it. Walking through New York City, 2:30 in the morning. A man sits out of an alley with a gun. He says, you two, give me all your money. I said, wait a minute. I said, George, here's the $25 I owe you. The thief took $1,000 out of his own money and gave it to George, and at gunpoint he made me borrow $1,000 from George. I borrowed some albums from a friend of mine. I was going to record them onto tape cassettes. I had the wiring all backwards on my stereo and accidentally erased all his records. Gave him back these blank black things. I said, I didn't know. Recently I was walking across Texas looking for my dog. Walked from one state line to the other. I got to the other side. He was behind me the whole time. When I was out in the middle of Texas, a UFO landed and 3 1-inch tall guys got out. They walked over to me. I said, are you really 1 inch tall? They said, no, we're really very far away. My friend George walked his dog all at once. He walked him from Boston to Fort Lauderdale and back. And he said, no, you're done. I don't want to hear any scratching at the door. I don't want to hear anything. It's over. One night George wasn't home. I went over to his house. I broke in. I put little contact lenses in his dog's eyes that had little cats on them. Dog was was flipping out all over the place. I took one out, he ran in circles. He's in a veterinarian insane asylum now. Sometimes I go there and I throw him boomerangs. He's not getting better and they don't know why. Went to the movies recently, up to the concession stand. Can I help you, sir? Yes, I'd like some popcorn. I like that kernel right there. No, that one right there. Put in one of those big buckets. Will there be anything else? Yes, I'd like a small Coke and a large cup, and just fill it up the rest of the way. Is that for here? No. To go? No. I'm gonna eat it in another dimension. I would explain it to you, but your head would blow up. I have an uncle who was a clown for Ringling Brothers Circus. When he died, all his friends went to the funeral in one car. A year ago, my girlfriend was on the pill using a diaphragm and an IUD all at once. Recently, she had a baby. Baby was born wearing armor. Ballerinas, why are they always on their tiptoes? Why don't they just get taller women? I wear eyeglasses during the day. Yesterday I was walking down the street wearing my eyeglasses and all of a sudden the prescription ran out. One time I was hitchhiking and a hearse stopped. I said, no thanks, I'm not going that far. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.